Okay, I don't know why my phone is saying what it's saying, but anyway, I'm here with Bob, and not that long ago, someone posted an article from our state, or a blip from the article from our state that mentioned Stephen Compton. So I went digging around. I went and found the article because I saw the name. What's it?
Ernestine Hilton Sigmund.
Ernestine Hilton Sigmund. And ironically enough, once I started talking to Bob, I realized I already knew who she was. But because of the pottery that was shown in the article, I didn't put two and two together. And the article, first of all, let me just say that it must be nice to buy a house and have an attic full of pottery. I haven't looked in my attic, but maybe I should. But that article I sent to Bob as well, and that piqued his interest. So we're going to talk a little bit about Tobacco Road pottery, yeah,
Absolutely.
and the Cravens and the Hiltons and whatnot.
Even
So
Coles in this too.
oh, the Coles were in it too. I didn't know that. So
Charlie Allman and
oh, okay.
we can talk about all of these people.
Everybody was in there. So Bob brought two examples of
Charlie Craven.
Craven's pottery. The one on the left is Tobacco Road, and I'll show you all the stamp because I know y'all all about that. C.B. Craven, and you can just see the Tobacco Road. The other, the one on the right, is from his father's shop. When do you think?
Oh, it's the 20s.
From the 20s.
Yeah, and that's one of Charlie's too.
So you can.
If you look at the handles and the shapes,
Right.
they're still. That's from Daniel Craven's shop.
Okay.
And DZ, and I just thought I have those sitting at home together.
Right.
Because I thought that was just so.
The one on the left looks a little more V-shaped than the one on the right. It's a little more bulbous, but
if the spout on the one on the right is actually expanded.
Yes, it is.
When
You're
it
right.
does, it actually changes the shape some.
Oh, okay.
But I always thought, that is so cool because I can tell more about a potter by the handles than other parts of the pot. The handle tells me more.
Gotcha.
And I try to tell a lot of people that same thing. If you look at the handle, you can tell actually who made it. But this is a fascinating, just the story. Leon Danielson, Gene Mallar, they end up creating Country Road.
Tobacco Road, right?
Yeah, Country Road's Jugtown. And Leon's still with us.
Yeah, that's what the article says.
A wonderful researcher on pottery history. Just a fascinating person. I looked at some of what he was doing with the Hilton history. We lost one of our Hiltons recently, Boyd Robert. Probably one of the last with the Hilton surname.
Right.
And he passed away. Bob was about my age.
Okay.
And he was doing some great things. His dad did. His dad.
I think the one piece of Hilton I have might be Boyd's.
Okay. Now Boyd was his dad.
Oh, I mean, sorry,
Bob.
Bob. Well, it may have been Boyd. I know you and I talked about it, and a lot of times when I don't know who it is and you tell me, I put a little slip of paper or a little tag on it so that I know later on.
I want to do that with all of my stuff sometimes.
Who it is and whatnot.
But the Hiltons get in with, and the original spelling, this is interesting too, because we'll go back to this. The original spelling is Hilton, Helton.
Okay.
And John Wesley Hilton was a potter. He fought in the Civil War.
Was he from Kentucky?
No, he was...
because they do go to Kentucky too, right? I mean, there's Hiltons in Kentucky as well.
They traveled to a lot of places, even in California.
Oh, okay.
Eventually, Floyd's going to go to California. But he was one that worked at the almond shop. And the connection goes really with the Coles, and that was J.B. Cole. J.B. Cole went up towards Hickory and worked for Albee Hilton.
Okay.
And this is Ernestine's dad.
Okay.
And the Blue Edge Hilton that we are so familiar with, that was Albee's.
Okay.
And Ernest Auburn Hilton. I like that name. Good. It's just a great sound. And of course, his wife is Clara Mallar Hilton.
Right.
She's considered the Grandma Moses of Southern.
And she made dolls as well as.
She made dolls. She did the dogwoods on the
okay.
pieces.
Okay.
She did the Blue Edge.
Huh.
That we see on most of the Hilton
So,
pieces.
and then Ernestine and her sister Tommy, was that?
Tommy, Lyra Dare. I mean, there's more of them.
Right.
And they all could paint. Ms. Hilton also made figurines.
Okay.
And if you go to the Allen Stanton Gallery, they're off the Parkway right now.
Right.
You can see, there may still be, the exhibit was on the last time I was there. I don't know whether it's there now because I don't travel as much as I did.
Right.
But they had a great exhibit of her figurines.
Gotcha.
So she's just multi-talented. When I sent you the picture last night,
Yeah.
the doll on the left was
hers,
Ernestine's.
which was, I mean, in my opinion, a much finer quality than the one on the.
Right.
But
that was Maud's. That was her mother's on the one on the
no,
right.
I thought the one on the right was nicer than the one on the left.
The one on the left was that big
The
blonde.
bigger, yeah, and it
Yes.
looks a little. The one on the right looked, and I'm going to post the pictures when I can, but the one on the right looked more like a China doll.
Yeah.
Whereas the one on the left looked more like a pottery doll.
But if you look at it, it's still that 1870s China doll
Sure.
head. She was going into that. But
Now, did they hand build those, or did they use a mold?
they molded. She had a mold. Miss Hilton did.
Okay.
And Ernestine, her mother's mold, she was going to use her mother's mold.
Right.
But they pretty much worn out.
Oh, okay.
So she created her own.
Own mold.
I mean, these ladies were multi-talented. But going back, John Wesley Hilton comes back from the war, makes pottery. And of course, he's active into the 1920s with the Hilton pottery. And there's several of them, but the one that really, the Hilton, of course, that we're so familiar with is Ernest Hilton. And you asked me about Mallar Trine.
That's Albee and.
That was Miss Hilton and him.
Okay, so he went by Albee because that's what.
Ernest Albee Hilton.
Yeah. Okay. Because I never heard that name before either. It's amazing to me how often these potteries change names.
Well,
and it can get rather confusing.
It's very confusing. But JB would go up to the western part when he was still a journeyman potter.
Right.
And worked for the Hiltons. And they were very close. As a matter of fact, we talk about Nell and Wayman and Herman.
Right.
But there was also another brother. Guess what his name was? Hilton.
Oh.
He was named after Jace would go up there and work for the Hiltons, and he used the old name.
Okay.
So the brother that didn't make pottery was named Hilton.
Had the pottery name.
Yeah, he had the pottery name. But Jace would go up there and work, and then when the almonds, the shop was open, and when Maston was working, most of the pieces that Maston did his beautiful clays work with was turned by Floyd Hilton. And Floyd had come down here and was working for the almonds. So, these family connections really get more and more fascinating.
I just, most of what we talk about is Seagrove.
Yeah. But how can you isolate?
But it does seem like people are cross-pollinating. They're
Absolutely. It is.
And actually, that's another thing I'm going to talk about is, well, Catawba. I mean, that they would be considered Catawba, yeah?
Well, in that area.
Okay.
Because they did change around, the shop at Oyama, and then just they
We've never really even talked much about Alamance pottery, which, as the crow flies, isn't that far away.
no.
So,
Yeah, I mean, that's just. And,
So,
and even like, I think when we start talking there, you start to think about Kellers and all, and that's an interesting family because this Liberty area, but Keller was from Tennessee and came in here.
oh, okay.
And
about what time?
oh gosh, that's in the 20s probably.
Gotcha.
When he came here, and they only did the slip glazes, but that's a very interesting. I mean, it's just a side note there with that family, but I really loved it because Keller's granddaughter lived next to my son and daughter-in-law.
Oh, okay.
And when she passed away, they were given one of the Keller pieces.
Oh, that's nice.
And when Ben left Joketown, was looking as far as kiln building, he went over to talk to R.B. Keller about building kilns. So it's all there somewhere.
So Gene
Mallar.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
This was in the 70s when all this transpired.
Late 70s, yeah.
So I mean, I guess Charlie must have been
Oh, he was in his 70s.
right.
Yes.
And then I'll assume that if Ernestine's painting the pot, she's probably equally as old.
Yes. And you know what?
What?
They never met each other.
They never met each other.
No. They made all those pots together, but they never met.
That is amazing.
Because Gene would take he'd travel.
Right.
Go get the pots, and Charlie'd make them, she'd paint them, take them back, glaze. And he and Leon did the glazing. Now,
so that they did actually work in the production part of it. To me, it sounded like they were more like the Bisbees, like kind of like we're fronting the money, you all do the work.
well,
But if they did do the glazing, then they were part of the whole process as well.
Leon probably did a lot of that, but now even Gene's daughter did some of the decorating.
Oh, okay.
Got a piece with a dogwood painted on it that Gene's daughter did.
Huh.
Small, and it was C.B. Craven. That article, there's also B.B. Craig pieces up in that attic and everything else.
Yeah, well, yeah, they did mention that there was Craig pieces, and what was more interesting to me was the Tobacco Road stuff because I never heard of it before. Yeah. I mean, the fact that like, oh, it's right down the street.
And I guess Leon's still doing a few, glazing a few pieces still. From that article. He said he had his kiln.
Okay. Does he still do it under Tobacco Road? Or is he doing it under?
I mean, these were pieces Charlie Craven made under Tobacco Road.
And he's still glazing them?
Yeah.
I wonder where he's selling them.
Probably, if he is. Now, I'll tell you, this is another thing. And this is related to me. Back at that period of time, I would go I guess it was the first Saturday of the month to the Greensboro Coliseum.
Right.
And they had a big flea market there.
Uh-huh.
And I had a booth. I didn't have a booth. Marmac Hosiery had a booth. And I would rent from them half of their booth.
Gotcha.
And I filled my hippie van. My hippie van was a 19-something another orange and white van, full-size van, that had no seats other than the front two.
Gotcha.
And orange. You remember orange shag carpet?
Oh, my.
Yeah, they had orange shag carpet. And that's a hippie van. But I would go up there, and if for no other reason, I knew Gene Mallar was going to be there with some of these pots. So just like that little picture there,
Uh-huh.
I'd at the end of the afternoon, I'd go over to his booth, and if I had any money whatsoever, I was going to buy some.
So do you have some of the pots that Ernestine
Oh yeah, I've got.
painted?
Yep, I do. And the one I sent you the picture. You had a one on. I think the right was Ernestine's, and the one on the left was one Tommy,
Right.
her sister, had painted. I wish I had more of those, but
It was interesting to me that at least the one in the article it looked like it wasn't glazed. It looked like it was just painted.
I think that one just was. I think that was one that had not been finished. Probably found in that attic.
Which I know that those pieces exist. I mean, I've got like a tiny little, I think it's a Nell Colgraves or somebody's little tiny dish that was never glazed or anything. And I know that they did that sometimes so that people could paint them the way they wanted to paint them. But to have it be painted but not glazed was...
I think that's just where it's not finished.
Gotcha.
And like I said, there may be some still being finished today that she had painted. The thing that really fascinates me, though, is those two never met.
That's pretty amazing.
It is. And, Charlie, when you find his pieces, and they're stamped, of course, they're usually, some that he did at Joketown or M.L. Owens, and then here, because really, he was a journeyman.
Right.
Never. And they started, of course, Zedith would stamp his piece.
Now, was Charlie from Ramseur or was JD from Ramseur? Which one of those Cravens was from near where I live? Or Coleridge?
Gosh,
You had told me once before, and I know that I bought a Craven pot, and I was excited about it, and I can't remember now if it was JD's or Charlie.
JD.
Okay, but you had said that there was another Craven that actually would have been closer to where I live, and I'm saying this because I bought my house from a Craven.
Yeah. It wasn't Charlie though, because their shop was DZ's shop was there.
I want to say you said that was near the graveyard.
Yeah,
the Coleridge Methodist.
That's the old Peter Craven shop.
Okay, there we go. That's who it was.
Yeah, I recently did some research and sent it in for all of the potters that were Masons.
Oh yeah.
And then some of them actually stamped the pieces, but so many of them did not, and all of the ones from Coleridge there. That was an interesting group. Anyway, I found let's see, how many were there? 24 potters that were Masons in this area.
Cool.
So in this county area. So that's a lot.
Yeah.
Including my grandfather. So